Well, good evening. It is the 20th of May, Journal 54, T+48. And something happened that that prompted a whole lot of introspective thought that I'd like to share with you, because I guess all the things that I record I think are worthy of sharing. That should probably go without saying. But I received a couple of photographs, digital images, I guess, of another time, another place, when I was working out diligently in martial arts in a style of Chinese Kempo. And first I was amazed at how young I looked in those pictures and how healthy I looked in those pictures, which was nice. The fact is, I actually had a little bit of hair at that point. And the thing that impressed me most, the thing that I focused on, was how focused I was, how determined to understand what I was doing and to get it right. And that was one of the brilliant things about this particular old friend and martial artist, who was my sifu, my sensei, my instructor, because he always explained in great detail what it is we were doing and what we were trying to accomplish with the different elements of each of the forms that we had to learn. But what the photograph didn't show was the amount of joy that I derived from that kind of workout, from that endeavor, and how much I enjoyed learning and growing. Because many of the martial arts, and most of the people that have studied will tell you, are more a microcosm of what happens in life, or what happens on the floor, on the studio floor, can tell you about a lot about people, character, determination, discipline, all kinds of different things. Especially if you're at a studio that's serious about the art and isn't a belt mill. And that got me to thinking about learning and growing and experiencing different things. And I started to think about the fact that we learn so much in so many ways from so many different people. And that got me to thinking about all the different people I've been blessed with in my life, who have shown me and taught me and helped me to learn and grow. Mentors, instructors, teachers, all of them played an integral part in the sum total of who I am. It goes back to my dad, who I was privileged to work with for 38 years, and he was the ultimate Zen master. Don't think he ever answered a question that was not in the form of another question. And that caused me to search and query and question, and helped me to figure out what I didn't know, the four stages of knowledge. And my mother, who I worked with for 40 years, who showed me how to write and exposed me to what good writing is, and wasn't afraid to let me know when I didn't get close or close enough. And it went on and on and on. And I started to compile a list. I thought that was, which is really strange when you think about it. I started to compile a list. And the list was really long. I mean, once you get past paid educators who are special in every respect in the lessons that they teach you beyond what's in the book, Dr. Butler, Mr. Murphy, Mr. Beagle, I could go on and on and on. Roland Young at Woodbury. And then I started to think about when I was consulting or before I was consulting and how that started. And Art Epstein and Ray Walker, and how my journey down that career path, sub-career path, got started with Arthur reaching behind his desk and pulling out a book and handing it to me and saying, "You need to read this." And I did. And then I got a whole list of other books that I needed to read. And I needed to read them because I needed to understand them. I needed to understand principles of management, leadership. And the road that took me down was long and convoluted in many respects, but it helped me to understand a lot of things that I wasn't sure of before, but understood intuitively were wrong, weren't right, or were not operating properly. Chuck Pollock, the list goes on and on. And Jimmy Halloran, my first editor. And then the more I thought about knowledge, and the more I thought about moving from not knowing what you don't know to knowing what you don't know, and the quest for knowledge that begins, it occurred to me that knowledge is out there, and all of us have the opportunity to grab it and squeeze it and get every drop of virtue that's within it out of it. And then I started to think about how many people don't do that. And it to say it's disappointing is a gross understatement. The thing about it is that I don't understand it. I don't understand it because or at least I didn't understand it until I realized that some people don't see it. Some people don't perceive it. Some people don't know that it's real. Some people don't know that the opportunity exists. And what a shame that is. What a shame that is. Paraphrasing Winston Churchill, he said, "Into every man's life there will come a time where he's called upon to do extraordinary things. How sad it would be if when that time came, he was not prepared." Then I started to think about, well, what's the secret? I mean, everything has a cause and effect. Everything has a reason. There's an underlying cause. And I realized it's awareness. It's being awake and aware of the world around you. That and recognizing that you can learn from everybody. You can learn, and I did. I did while I was in the hospital. I learned from the staff, the cleaning staff, the people that came in and cleaned the room and cleaned the bathrooms, the people who were doing jobs that most people would never even consider doing, and they did it with grace, and they did it with elegance, and they did it with a professionalism you don't often see. I learned it from the nursing staff, who don't get anywhere near the credit for what it is that they do and the knowledge they possess, and the doctors, who don't often explain things the way they might otherwise do it, but always have a way of showing you by what their actions are, what it is they're trying to tell you. I think all of that is so critically important. And I think the thing that that makes it even more important is the willingness and the ability to open yourself up to the universe and to try and understand what it is the universe is trying to tell you at any given moment, what it's trying to show you, what it's trying to teach you, what it wants you to teach someone else, and the responsibility we all have to pay what others have given us so generously forward in the way of helping other people. Maybe that's too serious. I don't think so. I think it's important stuff, and I think that you and I really need to consider things like that. We've all been blessed in so many ways, and have an opportunity and a responsibility to benefit the lives of others by sharing that knowledge unselfishly. I know when I get out of here, when I'm done with my recovery, I plan on very actively pursuing that. Maybe I'm asking all of you to think about whether you'll do the same and how you'll do it. Knowing that some of you are already well on your way, that you're long involved in things like this. So while you think about that, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for my procedure tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay well and take care. We care about you very much.